Sorry, I'm laughing because Alice just did a big burp. But what
Thanks for Alice.
what I'm here to say
If you're
is,
with us long enough, you'll hear a few more.
it's her reflux, okay, guys? Anyway, what I'm here to say is, welcome to episode 2 of the Swift Department.
Yeah.
TSD.
Love it.
We have to give it an acronym because Taylor Swift does that. You know?
It also has a good ring to it.
It has a great ring to it.
Yeah.
We are up to episode 2, and this is where we are.
We're going to get into it.
So we're up to episode 2. We've got to get into it. Let's get into the songs. Start talking. Start decoding them, breaking them down.
Totally.
Our favourite hobby and pastime.
Yeah.
So listen, we've gone into debate about how we were going to tackle this album. It's 31 songs. It's a lot of music. Mm-hmm. Why don't you explain to everyone how we're going to do this?
Yep. Happy to.
Yep.
Obviously, like you said, 31 songs, a lot to get through. If you were just anyone, you'd start with track 1, but we're not just anyone, and Taylor's certainly not just anyone.
No, and can I add, sorry to interrupt you, but we're going to be following her lead here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth.
We've had 3 wines. Lightweights.
Yeah. Before she brought out the album, she actually started playlists, right?
On Apple Music.
On Apple Music, talking about the 5 stages of a breakup.
And, sorry to break in again here. Break in.
You're going to make this a habit.
But, I'm not going to make this a habit, but on TikTok, people, all the clowns out there, I feel like there's only going to be Swifties listening to this, so they know when I refer to people or soon to be, when I refer to people as clowns, it's a known word and way to describe fans that decode and look into everything. They call themselves clowns on TikTok.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was out there. People were analysing the shades of photos she was releasing, and it came across as the stages of grief, right? So that's how we got onto it. Anyway, okay, we might be cutting that out, everything I said, but so just keep going. I'm going to be quiet over here in the corner.
But no, it is an interesting fact that she hadn't released that she was going to do the 5 stages of the breakup. It was a fan theory. So whether fan theory was right or whether that fan theory was just so freaking good, Taylor was like, I've got to do that. We'll never know.
So true, Al.
We'll never know. So the 5 stages are denial.
Shit, we need our notes up here. Get them up. Also, we're not bleeping out swearing in this podcast.
Yeah. So basically, before she released the album, whether it was a fan theory, whether it was her theory, we'll never know, but she did come up with putting all of her existing songs into Apple Music playlists of the 5 stages of a breakup, which are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And then once the album was released, the playlists were updated, and pretty well all of the songs were added to these playlists, which I feel, even if it's on reflection of that song was her feeling denial, it allows us to get inside her feels, what she was thinking, what she was feeling. And I think just a better way to unpack all of that is to go through the stages rather than just going through track 1 to 31 and sort of jumping around the emotions and not being able to really feel potentially what she was feeling in that moment.
It's a timeline, essentially, what she's given us. In a way, not really a timeline, but an emotional timeline, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Even if it's on reflection, it's still a bit of an emotional timeline. You know, there might have been a song where I think I'm sure there'll be some songs where we're like, hey, I actually thought that should have been an anger, but, it's interesting that she thinks it's denial or it's this. And it creates much more of a story to follow.
And along with each playlist, it was accompanied with a small voice note from Taylor explaining each phase and what each phase was.
Stage.
Each stage was. And I think that we should preface each stage with a definition maybe of what that is.
Totally. Absolutely.
Maybe you could read that.
Yep. So with that in mind, of course, we've got to start with stage 1, denial. I love you. It's ruining my life.
Oh, God.
Just that line in itself.
I've felt that.
Horrific.
It's horrific.
So because it is stage 1, it makes sense that denial is your brain's automatic response to the unwanted news that it's over. So denial gives your heart time to adjust to the new situation, and you might even think in this denial phase that your significant other might come back to you. Like it kind of allows you to slowly process those other emotions because at first you're just not ready to kind of fully experience it.
It's like a protective thing.
Exactly. So that's where we're starting. Denial.
Denial, let's do this.
Yeah. So from the playlist of Denial, the first song in that, catchy as all hell, I'm going to get you back.
Track 18.
No spaces.
No spaces.
Yeah. What are the credits on the song?
Shit, let's get the credits up. Can I make note? We are not 1975 fans. Not because we've listened to their music and not liked it, just that we haven't listened to their music yet.
Yeah.
So we don't know everything about the 1975. We are Swifties through and through, and we're coming at it with that lens.
Yeah.
I think we should just preface with that.
Yeah. And we might now dabble in 1975, trying to understand Swift more, but we do not claim to understand the...
Maybe we'll get into it, hey? Who's saying that or are you like really standing through in your power and saying you're not listening to any 1975 now after this album?
Absolutely not. But I don't feel if I hadn't found them prior, I'm probably not going to love them, but we'll see.
We'll see. I'm going to get you back. No spaces.
Mm-hmm. Credits.
Okay, go with the credits.
Credits. Written by Jack Antonoff, Taylor Swift. Produced by Jack Antonoff, Taylor Swift.
It's very Jack Antonoff. Mm-hmm. I saw a theory on TikTok, so it's not mine, about the 1975 have a song, and I do not remember what song it is.
It's in my breakdown.
Oh, shit, thank God. But it's got no spaces.
Correct.
So Taylor is a very smart gal, and she's followed that through with her song. We are predicting.
Yeah.
We don't know for fact. We don't know for sure, but...
Well, there's going to
We don't know any of this for sure.
No, exactly. So should we listen to it? Just to get into the zone of it?
Yes, but we won't play this because we think it could be illegal. So we just listen to the song again as a little refresher, even though we haven't already heard it a million times. What a good song. It's so catchy.
So catchy.
Where should we start?
Well, I wanted to just give my overall feeling that I get when I listen to the song, and I want your thoughts on it too, obviously, is the music and the way that she sings it. It feels like a sex song, but like a toxic one. Like a toxic sex song where it's like, it's not like loving, just kind
irrational and toxic.
Yeah, it's just very emotional and rough almost. Even though it's slow, it still feels, I don't know. Do you get that vibe? It's like that. It's forbidden, but like that's the excitement of it. That's kind of the feeling I get when I hear that song. And of course, it's incredibly catchy, as you said. I'm going to get you back. Brilliant. I'm going to be your wife. I'll smash up your bike.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that is just a snapshot of her mindset at that time. Mm-hmm. It could go either way. Yeah. And they're both extremes. Mm-hmm. But in a relationship like that with Maddie, because... Let me backtrack. Who is this song? Do you think this song is about?
Yeah, good question. Maddie.
It's about Maddie. The relationship that we assume...
most of the album.
Maddie. The relationship we assume she had with him was like that.
Yeah.
So two totally extremes. I'm going to smash up your bike.
Yeah.
Or I am going to be your wife.
I feel like when a guy has done wrong by you, but you create this illusion, you're going to get them back. Even though they've let you down... But you're going to take back that power, even though I feel like that's why it's a denial song. You're romanticizing a situation where you love him and you hate him. There's nothing romantic about that.
No.
Actually, it's toxic.
Yeah, he's done something, don't you think?
Absolutely. Why would she want to smash up his bike, curse him out, all those things? And the song is so kind of sexual and romanticizing this illusion when it's like, what you're actually saying is, something really fucked up has happened.
It has. In order to smash up someone's bike, something messed up has happened.
Yeah.
But the fact that she is willing to overlook whatever that is, that extreme action that he's taken against her, whatever,
and make it sexy. Essentially, make it sexy.
And
the song is sexy.
I'm going to overlook that, and I'm going to fill you up real hard.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to set the scene here.
I'm ready.
This is how I feel the moment how she wrote this song. Whether she wrote it in this moment or she wrote it about this moment. This is the scene. You're at your house. All week, you know that you're going out on a Saturday night and you know that he's going to be there. And all week, you've fantasized about how that meeting is going to go. And you've gotten to the point where you're like getting ready with your girlfriends. You're all in the same mirror. You're doing your makeup. And you've planned, so much so, not only have you planned the outfit, the dress, what you're wearing, you've also planned exactly how you think that night's going to go.
And what you're going to say.
And what you're going to say. You've played it out, etc. You know where you're going, but you're going to play it cool. You don't care about what happened in the past because you're just so cool like that. But you're just going to rock up, pretend like everything's fine. But secretly, you're going to get him back. Clearly, you've harbored some shit because you're like, I don't know if I'm going to actually smash your bike up. But ultimately, whatever it is, I'm going to get you back. I'm going to walk into that place. Short skirt, the one that fits me like skin. Clearly, he's done something, as we've said. So her going into that place, it's not about them being together. It's about taking back the power. It's going to be her choice. They'll either be together. She'll either say you're going to be with me, or I'm going to smash up your bike. But either way, it's going to be my decision because I'm taking the power back.
I feel like you're in my head. I felt that exact same thing.
Don't you reckon?
Have you felt that?
Yeah.
A time in my life is coming straight back to me.
Yeah. And especially because when she says, I'm going to flip the script, leave you like a dumb house party. That kind of is where I got the idea. She's trying to regain that power back in the dynamic. We've all been there, sister. It never works.
You know what I think could be happening?
It never works.
You know what I think could be happening? And I could be projecting my experience onto her, or I could be dead spot on.
Please project.
He may not have done anything physically, but he could have done something emotionally, like withheld.
Yeah.
Talking to her for an extended amount of time or giving her anything emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need to have hooked up with anyone.
No,
it
not
could just be him. Not all of a sudden he's giving her a lot and then flick of the switch, he's giving her nothing. He's not
the power play.
And she's
trying to get
the other side
back.
of that, and she's trying to get it back. It doesn't have to be a big thing that he's done, but I feel like it could be more of an emotional manipulation tactic that he's used, and she's the only way to get it back is to have this mentality and this confidence, which comes through heavily in the song.
It oozes confidence.
Desperation.
But it's desperation. It's so much it's so desperate, doll. We love you, you're better than this. Which obviously she knows that now. But it's desperation. It's like you're saying that you don't give a fuck about how this person treated you. You're going to be with them. Clearly you want to be with them and you want that power back. Like in this song, that's what it's oozing anyway. That's how I feel.
That was such a nice touch bringing up that scenario because I was in it.
Good. Well, that's how I felt. I was like, oh fuck, I've been there, and this is what I was saying to myself in this situation. And it's also you're acting in this song. She's acting like she's got full control because she's like, I'm going to get you back. I'm either going to do this or that. But like we all know the reality of that situation. You got no control.
It's delusion.
It's delusion.
And denial.
Exactly. You've got no control in that situation. And your confidence is obviously really low in this moment and you don't even see it like that. But you're trying to portray the exact opposite. Again, when she says to her friends, I hate him. Yeah, I hate him, but you love him. You say that I hate him, but I love him just the same. You don't need to lie to your friends when someone is good for you and you're denying. You know that this person is not good for you. When you start lying to your friends, that is one of the biggest red flags in a relationship. Lying to your friends.
It really is, isn't it?
Massively.
Okay, there's one line that really stuck out to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to just mention, I am a new F1 fan.
Oh, yes.
F1 racing. As of this year, I watched the latest season of Drive to Survive, and now I am fully in and I'm fully obsessed with F1.
You have been trying to get me into it.
And I've been trying to get you into it. It is so good. I love racing.
Yeah.
And there's a reference to Aston Martin in this song.
There is.
Which I think is so comical because back around the time where there were rumours about her dating Maddie, a rumour came out that she was dating Alonso. Wait, I always get his name wrong.
Google. I mean, that line that you're talking about is actually so sad. And it's trying to sound sexy. And it's just fucking brutal. I'm an Aston Martin that you ran straight into a ditch and ran and hid.
Okay, so this slipped my mind only because I've had 3 glasses of wine, but usually I'm really onto all the names and stats of all the races.
No judgment.
So it's Fernando Alonso, and there were rumours that they were dating. Obviously, it was a rumour. I fully believe it was. But I love how she had to take the piss by adding a line in there.
Yeah.
And do you know how quick whoever is on marketing for Aston Martin needs to get a pay raise, because straight after the song was released, they released a TikTok of him, and he was doing the shush sign, like with those lyrics playing over.
Really?
Yeah, they really played on it. It was hilarious. It obviously didn't happen, but I just think Taylor, like, it shows her sense of humour. She's hilarious.
But also, when you are trying to get the power back in a relationship, you do pretend that you're interested in other people when you're not.
Oh my God, yes.
You know? You're like, yeah, I've got this other thing going on. I don't.
Alice, are you serious? That is hilarious. Yeah. I love it. That's so smart.
But it's true, right? Well, I know.
I just love that my 2 loves crossed, F1 and Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that was really made for you, that line.
That was. Back to our notes.
So I know we obviously prefaced that we know this song is about Maddie. For us, it's incredibly clear. As you mentioned in the beginning, that one of his songs, which I did do a little bit of research on prior to this episode, and it's called Falling For You.
Yes, that's it.
And it also has no spaces in it. So when she says, push the reset button, honey, we're becoming something new, I feel like that is such a thing about them.
I know.
Bygones will be bygones, like not caring about what happened, whether it's her fault or his. Like, she's not really saying necessarily it could be both of their faults. Obviously, he has some blame, but doesn't matter what's happened in the past. Let's start afresh. Exactly. Eras fading into grey. So basically, the eras of their relationship, it's falling into grey. None of it matters. It's all a blur. It just doesn't matter.
She's ready to move on.
When he references the bike thing in Falling For You.
What? He references a bike?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I've just been on 2 weeks of intense work. I did not look up the lyrics. What does he say about a bike?
Yeah. So he says,
I'm shooketh.
It's actually crazy what the lyrics are.
I'm yawning, but just disregard.
Oh, here it is. All we need's my bike and your enormous house. You said someday we might when I'm closer to your height. She's so much taller than him.
Fuck, that's about her.
Yep. Till then, we'll knock around and see if you're all I need.
It was a situationship. Let's be real.
Yes.
Stuff had happened in the past.
In and out, all that jazz. I think we could unpack that entire song and I might reference a few more things from that. But honestly, do yourself a favour and go and listen to that song.
Because I'm going to also do myself a favour and listen to that on the way home tomorrow.
There's a lot of things, like I just said there, like clearly the height reference, the enormous house, like, you know, it's Taylor he's talking about. But in that song, he's actually trying to convince her to go out with him. I think I'm Gonna Get You Back is her version
of that song. Honestly.
And different timelines. Because that song, Falling For You, was written in 2013.
When they first met.
Yes. And I think she, in that situation, was like, no, it's not going to work, blah, 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 blah.
And that was in the beginning.
In the beginning. And I think he did something wrong by her in that situation as well, because he said in that song, if I don't see you, then I'll never get to explain.
Yeah, and he said a few passing things like, I know she went to his concert twice within 2 months, and then he was in an interview the following year and said something that he then had to correct himself for. It was sort of just like swiping Taylor off. He said, they asked him if he was dating her. I don't know what it was, but he sort of dismissed something in quite a harsh way and then had to explain where he was coming from. Yeah. So maybe that his song falls into that time frame.
I think so. I mean, again, referencing Smoke, like she references Smoke talking about him all the time.
I know.
References Mine and Guilty as Sin, which we'll obviously get to.
What, mine is in that Falling For You song? Mm-hmm. What? Read it.
It says,
I don't want to know, but I do.
I read between the lines and touched your leg again. I'll take it one day at a time. Soon you will be mine.
And he's talking about the leg. Oh my God, she is just amazing.
Yeah.
How she remembers all of this.
I know.
But to be honest, you'd fixate on all of these things.
Yeah.
You would hold on to every lyric.
He wrote a song
in every
for her.
song. There's other songs about her too.
Exactly.
I think, there's lots of other songs about her, but...
Oh, the song comes out saying, what time you coming out? And then her song of I'm Gonna Get You Back is her walking into the bar in this tight little skirt. Once you fix your face, like, she's going out.
What does fix your face mean? That's a bit rude,
Because he's like, she's saying he's looking at her like, holy shit, you look so hot.
Never heard that phrase before, but it's a bit aggressive.
Well, that's what I don't know for sure, but that's what I assume. That's how I read it anyway.
Yeah, I think so. I can't imagine it would be makeup.
But yeah, so this song is her version of what he was trying to say back in 2013. Now she's in his position, almost trying to get him back.
Yeah, and playing it really cool. Like, she calls him a dumb house party. Leave
Yeah.
you like a dumb house party. I'm trying to play it really cool. It could
power
go
play.
either way, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah. But either way, it will be my decision.
Great. I think that we fully assess that song, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, but let's, before we, in summation, as Taylor would say, what's your overall ranking? Let's just note that...
And I've got to say my favourite line. And you got to say yours in the song.
Okay, shit.
I'm being really critical here. I really freaking love this song, by the way. I love it. I think it's catchy. I love the double entendres of I'm going to get you back, meaning two different things. It's great. It's a 6 out of 10 for me. What about you?
My experience with all Taylor Swift music is evolutionary. Is that the right word I'm looking for? Where I listen to a song and my first opinion of it can change. And now there's no time frame for this. It could be a year. It could be a month. It could be 3 years.
And depends where you are in life as well.
Totally.
Yeah.
At this point of my life, a month listening, going in, I give this song like a 5 or 6.
I said 6.
Just because there's 31 songs on this album, and it's not my
6
favorite.
is high.
I love it. I love it.
I love
all Taylor music.
But we've got to be critical here.
We've got to be critical. My
We
favorite
can't
line
rank everything
is...
an 8 or a 9.
No, because I've got other songs that I'm giving 8, 9, 10.
Exactly.
Got a few 10s in there.
Yeah.
I don't know what my favorite line is.
Well, for me, my favorite, and it's not so much about the words in it. It's about the feeling when she says it.
What? Tell me.
Even if it's handcuffed, I'm leaving here with you. I love that. I just feel like I really feel it. I mean, it's in her bridge, and who doesn't love a T-Swift bridge, right? It's great. But that, for me, you just get the feels.
You do get the feels.
Yeah.
It's very good.
It's not like it's like the most...
It's desperate, and I love that.
Profound sentence, but like...
It's the feeling behind it.
It's the feeling behind it and the way that she sings it. That I love it. That's me anyway.
I don't know. I don't have one line that stands out for me, so I could spend all night looking through the lyrics trying to find one, but...
Fair enough.
I think that's it.
Maybe it'll come to you when it becomes a 7 out of 10.
And then I'll just record a little solo episode filling everyone in on my favourite line. Okay, so shall we move to the next track in the Denial playlist? I Love You, It's Ruining My Life. So the next track is track 23, I Hate It Here.
Yeah.
This song is growing on me so much. Can you please get up the credits of this song?
Yeah.
Can I have a guess? I should know this off by heart. I feel like it's very Aaron.
I know. I would have said that too. So
I don't want to look like an idiot. If I just say it's Aaron, I don't want to look like an idiot.
I think they'll be able to fact check us, so I'm not going to lie. Oh, Taylor Swift and Jack.
Is it?
It's Aaron.
Oh, I knew it was Aaron.
It's reads Aaron, but I'm glad we feel that we know them.
That was a test.
It was a test. You were pretty shocked. But yeah, it's written by and produced by Taylor Swift and Aaron Dessler.
Listen, our producer is in the next room making a lot of noise. Can we just have a word? You'd think he'd know. He set up our sound anyway. I love this song more and more each day as time goes on.
I first just want to say, imagine like really writing a song with somebody else when it's mostly about your life.
With someone else?
Like, just think about Aaron and Taylor Swift, like, sitting together.
You have to have a very good relationship.
Oh, my God. This is such a sad and vulnerable song. He might be the first person to ever know that she feels like this because she's not said it to anybody else.
That's so true.
That's so vulnerable and scary to trust that person with your deepest, darkest, something that you probably even haven't really admitted to even yourself just yet. And then the first time you verbalize it, like, you have to have such a close relationship with a co-writer like that, which is probably why she doesn't venture out too much outside of Jack. But when she does find someone else, she sticks with them for a bit as well, because
they have to have a really good understanding of each other, because she's trying to write a song about something and he needs to understand completely where she's coming from.
It's sacred, really. It's so sacred.
And so much trust would be built into that relationship.
Yeah, 100%. But I just wanted to think, because as I was listening to that song, I just thought, far out, it's a sad song.
It's so escapist. Like, she's trying to escape her life. And the only way she does that is by creating and going to secret gardens, lunar valleys, because it's way better than where she is at the moment, which is so devastating.
So let's take it back. Where are we? When she says, I hate it here, where do you think she is?
She could be either with Joe, or she could be in the depths of post Maddie and her.
I don't know why, but I feel like it's Joe. What do you think? I feel like it's like, I
think
hate it
it's
here.
Joe.
She's like bored. You know what I mean? It's not just, she's bored and she's sad. It's the depressiveness of the major depression.
It's not
the manicness of the, you know what I'm saying? I hate it here. Like, she's still kind of in the relationship.
So what is it when she says, this is a question I had, I dreamed about it in the dark the night I felt like I might die.
Yeah.
What night is that?
Yeah, I mean,
like, something happens that bad that you thought you might die. I know she doesn't mean probably physically, but emotionally she thought she was going to die. I think I'm taking it as that.
Okay, this is the scene that I'm imagining.
I love this new aspect to this breakdown that you're bringing.
I feel like she's in London, or she's in England, right? He's off either filming movies, filming shows, whatever.
Conversation with friends, who knows?
He's a busy boy. Well, you know, no one's more busy than Taylor, but apparently he's a busy boy. And
That's comical.
And
I'm real busy.
She's real busy.
I'm too busy to talk to you.
Booked and busy, basically. And she's moved her whole fucking life to be with this man. Even though she has so much going on, she still managed to somehow make things work for him, who probably doesn't have a lot going on in comparison to her. I'm sure he has a lot going on, but in comparison to her, doesn't have a lot going on. And she's in this whole other country. He's not there. She's like, why the hell have I moved here when I'm going to be by myself? And she's sitting up in bed. This is what I think. She's sitting up in bed. And she's a very articulate, well-read girl. I imagine that she's sitting there just reading, escaping, imagining that she's that main character in that book. And she just hates where she is, where she is alone in another country, in another place. And
I'm lonely, but I'm good.
Yeah, and she's convincing herself, no, it's fine. That's what she's telling herself. I'm lonely, but I'm good. Like, I'm bitter, but I swear I'm fine.
And I'll save all the romanticism
for my inner life.
Yeah, and I'll get lost on purpose. Yeah. This place made me feel worthless.
Yeah, this place, London, England, Joe.
It's definitely about Joe, I reckon.
It's Joe.
It fits in that timeline.
Yeah, I just had that feeling. And so all these stories are her, whether she's reading about it to escape. Because don't you just see her in any spare time, if she's not writing a song, she's reading. Don't you reckon?
Yeah, I need to get back into my reading.
Yeah, don't we all?
But there's one line, tell me something awful, like you're a poet trapped inside the body of a finance guy. She can't think of anything worse than not being able to live out your dreams or be your true self. Yeah. That's essentially what she's saying in that line.
You've nailed that. I didn't quite understand that bit, but I think that's exactly what she's saying.
Which is her. She's there. She's not, to be honest.
Also distract me from my life. Quick, tell me something. Pretend that this isn't actually what's being played out. I'm not actually living out my worst nightmare here.
Exactly. There's one line. Okay, so this might be a bit of a tangent, but these are my thoughts. Nostalgia. Mm-hmm. She speaks of she wished she lived in a different era. I have that feeling.
I totally get that.
One of my favourite movies, Midnight in Paris, which is written and directed by Woody Allen, set in Paris. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen all of it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
I remember going to see it, an opening of this film. I think it came out in like 2011, and I went with my mum, and it was a free screening. I don't know how I got invited to that, but I went, and I was fixated on this movie. One, because I'm a Francophile. I love everything French. You know I do.
Yeah.
And two, because of the escapism in this movie. And I'll read you what the plot of the film is. But after the film stopped, all the girls next to me were laughing, saying how shit that movie was. And it was so hard for me to hear because I thought, oh my God, I just went somewhere in that movie.
Wow.
And you were all making fun of it. But essentially the movie is about, and it made me think of this as soon as I heard this song.
Yeah.
It's about Gil Pender, Owen Wilson, and Rachel McAdams. We love Rachel McAdams. They go to Paris with her family. They're on a vacation, and he's a screenwriter, and he's really, it's his debut piece, and he's struggling. That makes me think of Taylor as well as a writer. He's struggling big time, and he's totally misunderstood and disconnected from his fiancée. And you can see their relationship. They don't get on at all. They're totally two different human beings.
Yeah.
He so romanticizes life like she does, and she talks about in the song. And the whole film is at midnight he goes for a walk because he can't write. And he travels back in time, and he goes to the 1920s, which is his golden era. And he runs into people like Picasso and Hemingway, and they're struggling with their writing, and like they have lots of self-doubt within themselves. And he's thinking, but you're Picasso, like you're amazing. Anyway, so that's pretty much the whole film until he meets a girl in the 1920s that he starts to fall in love with. But she romanticizes about a different era as well. That at the point where they then go back to the 18 whatever, her favorite era, and she's like, well, I want to stay here because it's amazing here. And he goes, well, what are you talking about? There's no vaccines, there's nothing here. Why would you want to stay here? She's like, this is the moment, like this is the era. Why would you want to go back to where I'm from? And it's at that moment that he realizes that he's escaping something. So then I started to delve deep into nostalgia, right?
Right.
And I was like, there's different types of nostalgia. And nostalgia essentially is denial.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
You've nailed that.
And it says nostalgia is denial of the present. And then another point
because
is
you don't want to be where you are, so you're thinking about somewhere else, and you're romanticizing another time.
yes, and it says the name
But
for
that's
this
so
denial, the denial of the past, is golden age thinking. The notion that a different time period is better than the one that you're living in.
Yeah.
It's a flaw in the romantic imagination of those people who find it difficult to cope with the present, which is essentially Taylor.
And what she says, nostalgia is a mind trick.
Exactly. Nostalgia relies on impossibility or absence to feed it.
Disassociation, detachment.
Exactly. And it can also be thought of as the memory of happiness, because
Which is never as good as the moment anyway.
so it can be a source of comfort for people in times of sadness and distress, which is how she's using nostalgia by traveling to all these past.
Well, she says
Memories.
something about comfort then too, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. Another point is nostalgia is not just about happy memories. It can be a longing for a time where things were simpler.
Yeah.
When we
Or
felt,
so you think.
and when you feel more connected with others. And obviously, you know, she's feeling connected to nothing. So I was just fascinated with that. But there's also something really cool about nostalgia. There's like future focused nostalgia as well.
Yeah.
Which I think she gets to. I definitely get that. It's like when you're living
Comfort
in a...
is a construct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like future nostalgia is when you're living in a moment. I'm cuddling Ivy up there and I think...
I'm going to be there soon.
No, I don't think that. I think I'm going to look back at this moment.
Ivy's my daughter, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. I'm cuddling Ivy up there and I think I'm going to look back in this moment. Not everyone gets this.
Oh my God, I get that.
I'm going to look back in this moment and I'm going to
think that was so amazing that I had that.
Yeah. So there's two types of future nostalgia. There's one where you think this moment I'm in now is going to be a great memory for me.
Yes.
And there's a different type of future nostalgia, which is what I also get. They've got different names. It's like anticipated future nostalgia and anticipatory. And I think anticipatory is where you think, this moment is an amazing moment and I'm going to remember this in the future. How do I... It's going to be gone soon. How do I have that in the future? And I get both of those.
I also have the one where, like, sometimes, often when I'm going somewhere and I'll be desperate to get to the next place. Say, for example, a plane ride, and I'll be sitting on the plane and I'll be, like, desperate to get to that next place. And then I'll say to myself, soon I'm going to be at that next place, thinking about when I was wishing to be there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? But I didn't know there was like a term for that. But I often think about that place, that in-between place, and wanting to be there and knowing that when I'm there, I'm going to be thinking about, remember when I wanted to be there?
Yeah. I think I butchered that, but it says, if you've ever been spending time with a loved one who lives far from you and you felt preemptively wistful that they'll soon leave. I have that.
Oh, yeah.
Then you experienced anticipatory nostalgia. Oh, they're going to leave soon. I better
appreciate them being here.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good
one to have. You know what I mean? Like, that's a real gratitude nostalgia.
Yeah. Anyway, so I went down the nostalgia rabbit hole with that.
I'm so glad you did. I learned so much about myself too.
And like, I might be butchering some of that terminology, but that was a little nostalgia for dummies from me. Because I definitely catch myself in both past nostalgia and future. I'm in all of them.
Me too. I think we've all obviously got a little bit more.
And she is such a romanticist that she, like Gil in the movie, she goes all these places in her mind. Yep. And that's essentially the song. And it just feels so relatable.
You've encapsulated the song. Nostalgia. It is a nostalgic, reminiscent, kind of disassociative denial
of the present. You have to go to the past.
Yeah.
And she knows it. You can tell in the song she knows that. She's doing that. But I feel like it's a coping mechanism.
Well, because she's saying, I hate it here, so I will go to places. Yeah. She knows that she's doing it.
And it's going to serve her for this time.
But she's saying, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm lonely, but I'm good. Like, I'm bitter, but I swear I'm fine. Like, I will save. This is how I cope. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to be all right because this is how I cope.
You know what? I just had a thought.
What?
Which is Folklore and Evermore, right? She wrote during COVID.
I had the same thought.
And she said that, I never thought I could write songs that weren't about my life, but I have. And it's about stories that I created.
Correct.
Why did she have to feel the need? I know it's COVID. People created amazing things during COVID. But in such a hard time, some amazing things came out of it. And...
Totally.
She was she was escaping.
Well, even just like the Secret Gardens, the Luna Vanities, like for me, when I hear those mystical places and everything, I am thinking Folklore and Evermore. Those books that she would have read, she would still be drawn to certain stories because they have some connection to her, and they have some connection to her because it is a part of her life in some way. Even if she's ignoring it, she's still looking for, that love that she doesn't have in her present life.
Yeah, totally. Plus, she's a storyteller. She loves stories,
and her best stories are inspired by her life. Full stop.
It's a really nice song. I'm loving it more and more each day.
So what's your rank?
To it. Maybe 6, 7.
I think it's still a 6, 7 for me too. I think a 6. I think I'm gonna go with 6. I love it. I feel like it will go up the ranks, but I think it's a 6.
There's one funny line I thought she was being quite witty with, but I may have misread. She says, I'd say the 1930s, but without all the racists and getting married off with a high speed. And then she says, nostalgia is a mind trick.
Yep.
If I'd been there, I'd hate it. It was freezing in the palace. So she's assuming she would have been a princess in the palace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, hon.
I guess if she's imagining a fairy tale, but also she's a fucking princess in this life. Well, she's imagining the princess life she has, but back then.
Yeah, I would have hated it in the palace.
Yeah.
So cold.
Listen.
Anyway, so what's your favourite line?
Good question.
I think I just I hate it here. And when she draws out here.
It's dark, but I think the bit where you said, I dreamt about it in the dark the night when I felt I might die. I think because as she says it, again, I think I'm drawn to not just the lyric in that, but the way that it's just like, I might die. She's
breathless.
Like, yeah, it's like you just kind of really connect with her out. That was a very dark time for you, and you can just kind of really feel it by the way that she says it. Not even just the lyric itself is obvious that it was a dark time, but the way she says it, it's like she's been transported back there, and you feel that. So yeah, I think that's my favourite, as sad as that is.
God, these songs are hard to break down. There's other songs I come to and I'm thinking, I feel so many things about this.
Yeah.
But I feel I had a bit to say about that.
think
But
you
it
had a
was
lot to
definitely I was projecting onto that song, but that's what Taylor's music's for. She knows that we all do that.
she wants us
That's
to
why
take
she's
it to
so
herself.
relatable and why
Correct.
she has such a big fan base is because her songs are so projectable. Is that a okay
It
thing
is
to say?
now. It's a
It's
word
a word.
now.
Okay,
But
should we
also, I do like, I'm lonely, but I'm good. I'm bitter, but I swear I'm fine. Like,
Yeah.
we all lie to ourselves. The way we can stay in a relationship, and like by just being like, no, it's fine. I don't have needs. I don't have wants.
Which is a thing that she does.
Yeah, I don't
in
have
our
it.
mind.
Yeah, in our mind. I don't have needs. I don't have wants. Like, I just want this relationship to work. And the way that I'll make it work is I'm going to do this. I'm going to go internal, and I'm going to get my romance from creating up all these stories, as we think, folklore and more.
Okay, so maybe we should just call it a day here because we're only 2 songs in the denial.
I know.
We might get quicker, guys, so hang with us.
Yeah, we
Bear
may.
with us, rather.
Yeah. Or maybe get longer. Who
we
knows?
might get longer.
Yeah.
But so let's
We've
just...
got a lot to say.
We have a lot to say. We feel it all as well.
We do. We absolutely do.
So we're going to say bon nuit, good night.
Yeah, I mean, are we making this French thing a thing?
On my side, yeah, but it just comes naturally. So you...
Okay.
Good night.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, bon nuit.
In honour
À
of the
demain.
Eras Tour finishing in the French European League,
Paris, yeah.
Paris. Well, we're saying bonsoir.
Bonsoir, bon nuit.
Bon nuit.
Just so you all know, this is a real treat, you getting us in the same room. Alice lives in Brisbane, I live in the Northern Rivers, so it won't be every time that we're in the same room recording this. We'll be doing it via the interwebs, so... But don't fear because the dynamic will still be there.
It's been there our whole life.
It has. Okay, see ya, bye.
Bye.